Hello Kickstarter, I'm Todd Brauboter, the creator of Legendary Monsters, a line of action figures based on urban legends. I think you're really going to like these guys. I want to tell you a little bit about myself, so I'll start with my childhood. Now, at a really early age, I was completely obsessed with toys and action figures. I could not get enough of them. I became well aware of this once I moved out of the house in my early 20s, and I had gotten these photograph albums from my mother. Inside of the photograph albums were photographs, and each one of those pictures had a picture of me holding an action figure. At some point, at some time, I always had something in my hands that was always an action figure, and I had such a love and such a passion for them growing up. My first best friend that I made was also someone who is big into toys, big into action figures, and we've stayed friends this entire time. Eventually I went to school to study toy design and to study industrial design, where then it became okay. You know, I was surrounded by other people that were collectors, and at that point, if anyone did ask any questions that I didn't understand, I told them it was research. Let me tell you a little bit about my background. I spent a number of years in the toy industry, as I mentioned earlier, where I worked on a number of toy lines for many, many years, some of which included Star Wars, Batman, Star Trek, Spider-Man, Jurassic Park, and many, many others. It was an amazing job, and after a few years, I really wanted to step away and make my own line of action figures, which is how I came up with the idea to create Legendary Monsters. Now, after spending a number of years in the toy industry, I decided to switch careers and enter the game industry. How amazing is that? To work from one great industry like the toy industry to go into the next, with something that I had a passion for as well. As a kid and as a teenager, I loved games, and it was also always one of my dreams to be a game designer and a game artist. So I left the toy industry. I took my first job at the game industry at a studio called Bethesda Softworks, which made a number of games that I'm sure some of you may be familiar with. While there, I worked on a number of titles. The first included Oblivion, and then Shivering Isles, the expansion. After that, we moved on to Fallout 3, and while I was there, it was an amazing place to work, and I was able to work as both an artist and designer on some truly great games. At that point, I decided to take a job at another studio called Firaxis that made Civilization, and we just now released our most recent title, where I served as lead designer, lead level designer, and that was XCOM Enemy Unknown. Also, another amazing job, another amazing opportunity. But my real love and my real passion has always been for toy design and for action figure design. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this video. That's why we're doing Kickstarter. Because I think that this could now become a reality, and I can get these into your hands, and you can benefit and truly enjoy them. And we have the opportunity to make another series, which I already have planned. I'd like to start off by talking a little bit about the process of how the figures came to be and the kind of work that went into them. I did a lot of research into the eyewitness reports and read as much material as possible to determine which of those 4 monsters we were going to do. And it was fascinating reading this stuff, and the fact that people truly believed in these experiences, what they encountered with the unknown, and I wanted to capture that in the figures themselves. And it was really important for me that they stay true to what the eyewitnesses were saying, and that each of the figures looked like they described. So Chupacabra and Mothman and the Jersey Devil and the Missouri Monster, they all have this look and feel that they've had in the legends themselves. Once we got the line to completion, I basically realized that I needed some outside help, and some inside help. So I asked my wife, who's also an artist and designer, to help out with the packaging, catalogs, and website development. And my closest friend, who I mentioned before when I spoke about my childhood, came on to do some research and development to get the figures ready to production. So John Coe and my wife Tema helped out in the end of the process, and were really vital to getting the figures to a final state. If you look at the photographs below, you'll see that the figures look complete, and that is true, but only in a sense. They are really just prototypes at this point, and we need to take them into the necessary stages to bring them fully into production. Many of those stages, which include engineering, mold production, safety testing, those sort of things need to happen in order for the figures to come out and be a product that you guys can get in your hands. And that is where we are asking for your help. We are asking you to get involved and make this happen for us. And this is where your money is going to go towards. It's going to go to the engineering process. It's going to go to the mold production process. It's going to go to freight and handling and shipping and insurance. Those sort of things that are going to enable the toys to become a reality. And that's where we really ask you to get involved, to dig deep, and do whatever you can to help us achieve this goal and make these figures a reality. I thank you for everything, all the support in advance, and I will be updating the site on a daily basis with any news, any sort of information that we have coming from any source, whether or not it's engineering or our factory or any of the mold production. And I would love for you guys to look at the rewards listed below, because there's a lot of fun, exciting things that are special items that are only going to appear here, some of which include illustrations from the packaging itself that are going to be signed and numbered. We're going to be giving test shots, which are prototype figures when the molds are tested, to certain pledges, and there are certain one-of-a-kind items that appear, such as the hand-painted Chupacabra from the early press materials that were released. And for our top pledge, I'm going to be giving the blueprints, the hand-drawn blueprints of Chupacabra and the victim, to our top contributor. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more information that comes. And once again, I thank you for all your support and all your help, and for believing in us and believing in Legendary Monsters. And let's hope we have a series 2. I really think we will.